Pisces, stop, do not scroll past this. If you are hearing my voice right now, on the 15th of August 2026, then something in your spirit pulled you here before the clock ran out 3 days. That is all that stands between you and a shift so massive, so undeniable, that everything you have been quietly praying for in the dark is about to crack open into the light. This is not a warning of destruction. This is a warning of arrival. Someone is about to break their silence. A door you stopped knocking on is about to swing open from the other side, and your body already knows it. That tightness in your chest this week, that dream you could not shake, that name that keeps surfacing in your mind at 3 in the morning. Before I pull the next card, tell me in the comments, where in the world are you receiving this message right now? And if your heart just clenched, subscribe to Trusted Tarot, because what I am about to unfold for you is meant for your ears only. You are still here. Good. That tells me everything I need to know about where you are in your spirit right now. Because a Pisces who is not ready for this message would have already swiped away. You would have felt nothing. A flicker, maybe, but nothing that anchored your thumb to the glass, but you stayed. You stayed because something underneath your ribs has been humming for the last 72 hours. Low, persistent vibration, like a tuning fork pressed against the bone of your sternum. And you could not name it. You could not explain it to anyone, but it made you restless in a way that felt almost holy. And I need you to hear me clearly right now. That hum is not anxiety. That hum is not you losing your grip. That hum is the first tremor of the storm I just named. And it is not coming to tear your life apart. It is coming to tear open the sealed envelope you have been carrying for months, the one you were too exhausted, too heartbroken, too quietly terrified to open yourself. And before I go further, I need you to understand something about this moment, about why this reading found you on this exact date, the 15th of August, 2026. You did not stumble here. The algorithm did not randomly serve you this video. I want you to really sit with that, your higher self, the part of you that still whispers when the rest of you is screaming, the part that still lights candles and whispers names into pillows at 2 in the morning. That part of you has been sending out a signal for weeks. A quiet, desperate, faithful signal. And the universe, which has been watching you with so much tenderness even while you felt forgotten, answered by placing this voice, these cards, this exact configuration of energy, directly into your path. You are not here by accident, Pisces. You are here because the next 3 days require you to be prepared, and preparation begins with recognition. Now I want to talk about your body, because your body has been speaking to you in a language you almost missed. Think back over the last 4 or 5 days. Has there been a flutter in your chest, not quite a heartbeat, more like a second heartbeat layered underneath the first? Small bird trapped behind your ribs trying to get your attention. Have you found yourself reaching for your phone, unlocking it, staring at the screen for no reason, then locking it again, feeling foolish, feeling empty, then doing it again an hour later? Have you been waking up earlier than your alarm, fully alert? Eyes open in the dark, mind already racing with a thought you cannot quite catch before it dissolves? Have you felt an unusual, almost unbearable sensitivity this week, where a song in a grocery store or a stranger's laugh on the street suddenly made your throat close and your eyes sting for no logical reason? That is not coincidence. That is not you being overly emotional, even though I know people have told you that you feel too much your entire life. That is your energetic field expanding, stretching, making room for what is about to land. The storm is not wind and rain, Pisces. The storm is a frequency shift, and your body, your beautiful, porous, deeply intuitive Pisces body, has been receiving the first wave of it while the rest of the world sleeps. You have been feeling the barometric drop before the sky changes, and I need you to stop pathologizing that. I need you to stop telling yourself you are being dramatic. You are being prophetic. There is a difference. And the difference matters right now because what I am about to tell you requires you to trust your own signal. And then there are the dreams. Oh, the dreams. I can feel them pressing against this reading like a hand against frosted glass. You have been dreaming of water, have you not? Not gentle water. Not a calm lake on a sunny afternoon. Deep water, dark water, water that moves with intention, that pulls you under but does not drown you. That holds you in a suspension where you cannot breathe, but you are somehow not dying. Or perhaps it was not water. Perhaps it was a house you used to live in, a room you recognize, but the furniture is wrong, the light is wrong. And someone is standing in the doorway with their back to you, and you are trying to speak their name, but the word comes out as smoke. Or maybe it was simpler than that. A face. Just a face. appearing in the dream with such clarity that when you woke up, you could still feel the weight of their gaze on your skin, and for 3 seconds before the waking world rushed back in, you believed they were actually in the room with you. Those dreams are not random neural firings. Those are visitations. Those are your subconscious mind processing a message that is already in transit, already moving toward you through the physical world, carried by a person who is, right now, in the middle of their own reckoning. And I will tell you who that person is. I will tell you what they are feeling, what they are remembering, what they are rehearsing saying to you in the bathroom mirror at midnight when they think no one can hear them. But not yet, not in this breath. Because if I give you the full picture before I give you the frame, you will misread the colors. And this message is too important, too carefully orchestrated by the divine, for you to receive it with old lenses. So I need you to do something for me right now, and I need you to do it with your whole heart, not just your thumb. If this is landing in your chest, if this is confirming what your spirit has been whispering all week, subscribe to Trusted Tarot. Not because I need the number, because this channel is a sanctuary. And if the next 3 days are going to unfold the way the cards are showing me, you are going to need a place to come back to, a voice to remind you of what you felt in this moment. When the noise of the world tries to convince you it was all in your head, subscribe, hit the bell, make this your quiet, sacred bookmark. You are building an altar here, and you deserve a seat at it. Now, breathe with me, in and out, because the next layer of this reading is where the storm truly begins, and you need to be grounded. You need to be steady. Because what is coming in the next 72 hours is not just a message. It is not just a text or a call or a knock at the door, though it may be all of those things. It is breaking open. And breaking open, even when it is holy, even when it is the answer to every prayer you have whispered into your pillow, even when it is everything you wanted, it still feels like the ground shifting under your feet. And I do not want you to run from it. I do not want you to armor up the way you did last time. This time, Pisces, I need you to receive with your hands open. But before I show you what those open hands are about to hold, I need to walk you through the mind of the person on the other side of the storm. Because understanding their silence will change how you hear their voice when it finally comes, and their silence has not been indifference. I need you to hear that before anything else, their silence has been war. This person has not forgotten you. I need to say that first because I can feel the lie you have been telling yourself for weeks, maybe months. The lie that says you were easy to walk away from. The lie that says they shook you off like dust, like a season, like something that happened to them instead of someone who changed them. That lie has been living in your chest like a splinter, and every time you tried to pull it out, it broke off deeper. So I am pulling it out for you right now, cleanly. With steady hands, they have not forgotten you. Not for one single night. Not for one single morning where they woke up, and the first thought was not your name wrapped around the back of their throat like a word they swallowed before it could become sound. But here is what you did not know. Here is what the cards are showing me with a clarity that almost makes me pause before speaking. This person has been in a war with themselves. Not a quiet, manageable disagreement. A war. The kind where they pace a room at 2 in the morning and talk to the ceiling. The kind where they open a conversation with you in their phone, type 4 sentences, delete them, type 6, delete those 2. Then set the phone face down on the nightstand and stare at the wall feeling like a coward. They have rehearsed this moment. They have rehearsed what they will say to you so many times that the words have worn grooves in their mind, smooth and familiar as river stones, but every time they reached for the send button, every time they lifted the phone to call, something in them froze. Not because they do not love you, not because they do not miss you, but because they are terrified that the version of themselves who hurt you, who left you in that silence, who made you feel like you were asking for too much simply by needing them, that they are terrified that version is all you will see when they finally speak. And this is the part that will ache, Pisces, so I need you to be tender with yourself as you hear it. They remember the exact moment they broke you. They carry it. It lives behind their eyes like a photograph they cannot put down. They remember your face in that moment. They remember the way your voice changed, the way the light left your expression, the way you went quiet in a way that was louder than any scream, and they have been punishing themselves in silence ever since. Not nobly, not productively, just sitting in it, just marinating in the guilt and calling it justice, telling themselves they deserve the distance because they cannot bear to come back and face what they did. And I need you to understand that their silence was never a verdict against your worth. It was a prison sentence they handed themselves, because they did not yet know how to look you in the eye and say the words I am about to tell you they are preparing to say. But something shifted, and this is where the storm begins to gather its true shape. Something shifted in the last 2 weeks. A conversation they overheard, a song that came on at the wrong moment, a dream of their own, where you were walking away and not looking back. And the finality of it, the absolute permanence of your retreating figure, cracked something open in their chest that they could no longer glue shut with pride or fear, or the story they had been telling themselves about giving you space. They woke up from that dream with wet cheeks, and a sentence on their lips that they had been swallowing for so long it had become almost invisible. And from that morning forward, the countdown began. 3 days, Pisces. 3 days from the moment I am speaking to you, the dam breaks. Now I want to pause here because I can feel you leaning forward. I can feel your breath getting shallow. I can feel the question forming in your throat, the one that says, what are they going to say? What is the message? What does the storm actually look like when it lands in my life? And I am going to tell you. I am going to tell you every detail the cards are showing me, but not before I give you something that matters just as much as the message itself. Not before I give you the lens through which to receive it. Because here is what I have seen in readings for years, Pisces. Here is the tragedy I have watched unfold more times than I can count. The message arrives, the call comes, the text lights up the screen, and the person who prayed for it, who cried for it, who lit candles and whispered to the universe for it, receives it with armor on. Receives it through clenched teeth and narrowed eyes because the waiting hurts so badly that the arrival feels like a threat instead of an answer. And I will not let that be you this time. I refuse to let that be you this time. So before the storm makes landfall, before the next 72 hours deliver what is already in motion, I need to prepare your heart the way you would prepare a garden before rain after a drought. You do not just let the water hit cracked, hardened soil. You soften it first. You loosen it. You make it ready to absorb. And that is what I am doing with you right now. I am loosening the soil. I am asking you gently, firmly, with all the love this channel holds, to begin softening your guard tonight. Not for them, for you. Because you deserve to receive this moment without flinching. You deserve to hear their voice, read their words, feel their presence, without the ghost of the old pain narrating over it. You deserve the clean, unfiltered truth of what is coming. And what is coming is not small. Let me be clear about that. This is not a casual check-inches. This is not a breadcrumb, not a ping to see if you are still available, not a lazy Thursday night text designed to soothe their guilt without asking anything of them. The cards are emphatic about this. What is arriving carries weight. It carries accountability. It carries the specific trembling vulnerability of someone who has finally decided that their pride is a smaller thing than their love, and that they would rather stand before you exposed and imperfect than continue to rot quietly in a silence that is killing them both. But there is a layer beneath even that, a layer I almost missed because it came through as a whisper instead of a shout. And it has to do with money, Pisces. It has to do with your career, your stability, the practical architecture of your life that has felt shaky and uncertain for the last several months. Because this storm is not only emotional. The same energy that is breaking this person open is also breaking open a channel of abundance that has been blocked. And the two are connected in a way I will explain fully in the next breath. But for now, I need you to hold this truth in your body. The storm is not one event, it is a cascade, and the first drop of rain is only 3 days away. 3 days. I want you to say that number in your mind. 3, not 3 weeks, not 3 months of more silence, more checking your phone and feeling foolish, more rehearsing conversations in the shower that you will never have out loud. 3 days. The cards laid this out with a ferocity that made my hands tremble when I turned them. Pisces, and I need you to understand that I do not say that lightly. I have read for thousands of souls on this channel. I have seen slow unfoldings and gentle drifts and quiet healings that take seasons. But this configuration, this alignment hitting on the 15th of August with the energy I am feeling pressing through the cards like heat through thin glass. This is urgent. This is the universe saying the waiting room is closed. This is the universe saying you have sat in that plastic chair long enough, staring at fluorescent lights, holding a number that was called 20 minutes ago. And it is time, it is time. It is time to walk through the door. Here is what is coming. And I need you to receive this not as a prediction, but as a recognition. You will feel it land in your body before your mind catches up. Within the next 72 hours, a message arrives. It may come as a text that appears on your screen when you are doing something ordinary, washing dishes, folding laundry, staring out a window feeling that familiar hollow ache. It may come as a phone call from a number you almost did not answer because you had trained yourself not to hope anymore. It may come in person, figure appearing in a doorway, voice behind you in a room where you thought you were alone. The form does not matter. What matters is the content. Because this person is not coming back to test you. They are not coming back to hover at the edge of your life and see if you still react. They are coming back with a confession. A full, unguarded, terrifying confession that they have been wrong, that the silence was theirs to break and they broke it too late, that they watched you suffer and told themselves it was giving you space when really it was giving themselves an escape from accountability. They are going to apologize. And not the shallow kind, not the kind that says, I am sorry you felt that way, not the kind that rearranges the blame into a shape they can live with. A real apology. The kind that shakes. The kind that comes with eyes that cannot hold yours because the shame is still fresh, still warm, still alive in their throat. They are going to say your name, and the way they say it is going to sound different than it has in months, because they are saying it without armor, without performance, without the careful curation of someone managing an image. They are going to say it like a prayer, like a surrender, like the word itself is the only bridge left between the person they were when they hurt you and the person they are trying to become now. And here is where I must slow down, because I can feel your heart rate changing. I can feel the hope rising in you like a tide you are trying to hold back, because the last time you let yourself hope like this, the wave pulled out and left you gasping on the sand. So hear me now, Pisces. Hear me with every cell in your body. This time is different. I know you do not believe me yet. I know your nervous system is already composing the argument, the evidence, the list of reasons why this will dissolve like the others. But I need you to set that list down. I need you to place it gently on the table beside you and look at what is actually in front of you instead of what you are afraid is in front of you. Because the storm I am describing is not another cycle. It is the end of one. And endings are violent, even holy ones. The ground shakes. The sky splits. And for a moment, everything looks like destruction before you realize it was demolition before reconstruction. Now the warning, and I give you this warning not to frighten you, but to arm you, because you are a Pisces and your instinct will be to pour yourself out the moment they speak, to flood them with everything you have been holding, every sleepless night, every unanswered prayer, every moment you whispered their name into the dark and got nothing back. And that is valid, that pain is valid, but I need you to wait. I need you to let them finish. I need you to receive their words before you release yours. Because if you interrupt the confession with your grief, you will tangle two truths together and neither one will land cleanly. Let them speak. Let them stumble. Let them cry if they cry. And you breathe. You keep your feet on the floor. You keep your spine straight. And you listen not with the part of you that was wounded, but with the part of you that has healed enough to witness their wound too. Because they are wounded Pisces. They are not a villain in this story. They are a person who failed you and has been failing themselves in the same breath. And they are coming to you now because they have finally run out of places to hide. Do not let the old narrative hijack this moment. Do not let the voice that says you are too much, too needy, too emotional, too sensitive, do not let that voice narrate this reunion. You are not too much. You were never too much. You were met by someone who did not yet have the capacity to hold what you offered. And that is their limitation, not your excess. And the fact that they are coming back trembling and imperfect and late does not erase what they did. You do not owe them instant forgiveness. You do not owe them a smile and a clean slate. What you owe yourself is the clarity to see this moment for what it actually is instead of what your fear says it is. And what it is a beginning. A tentative, fragile, sacred beginning, and beginnings require gentleness, even when they arrive wrapped in the wreckage of what came before. And the money, the career, the practical life you have been trying to hold together with white knuckles and a forced smile while your heart was in pieces. Listen to me. The same 3-day window that opens the emotional channel also cracks open a professional door you stopped knocking on. An opportunity you applied for and forgot about. Conversation you had weeks ago that seemed to go nowhere. A financial thread you pulled and assumed had unraveled completely. It is coming back, not because you forced it, because you released it. Because in your exhaustion, in your surrender, In the nights you finally stopped trying to control the outcome and simply wept and let go. You created the vacuum that allows the universe to fill, and it is filling now. The storm is not only in your heart, it is in your bank account, in your workspace, in the practical architecture of the life you are rebuilding. And the two are connected because you cannot receive abundance with a clenched fist. And this emotional breaking open is loosening your grip on everything else too. And now I need to talk to you about timing, because I know the question that has been eating you alive in these small hours. Why now? Why, after all the months of silence? After all the nights you begged the universe for a sign and got nothing but static? After all the mornings you woke up and checked your phone and found no name there? Why is it happening now? Why not when you needed it most? Why not when you were on your knees? Why not when the pain was so sharp and so fresh that their word would have been oxygen and their absence was suffocation? Why now when you have almost learned to breathe without them? When you have almost convinced yourself you are fine? When you have almost built a life that does not require their voice in it to feel whole? And here is the answer, Pisces. And I need you to let it settle into your bones because it will reframe every single night you spent crying into your pillow wondering if you had been forgotten. It is happening now because now is the first moment you could actually receive it. I know that stings. I know it feels like a cruelty to hear that the universe withheld this from you when you were in the deepest part of the valley. But think about it. Think about who you were 3 months ago, 4 months ago, 6 months ago. You were in survival mode. You were running on fumes and stubbornness and the desperate, scraping hope that if you just held on a little longer, the pain would mean something. And if this person had come back then in that state, you would not have received them. You would have received them as a lifeline, as a validation, as proof that you were not crazy for loving them, for missing them, for believing they would return. And that is not a foundation. That is a bandage over a wound that still needed air to heal. So the universe, in its maddening, tender, infuriating wisdom, made you wait, not as punishment, as preparation. Every silent week was building something in you that you could not have built in comfort. Every unanswered prayer was strengthening a muscle in your spirit that you will need in the next chapter of your life. A chapter that is not just about this person returning, but about you finally standing in your own authority, your own worth, your own unshakable knowing that you are enough whether they stay or go. And that knowing, that quiet, ironclad, unbothered knowing, is what you built in the silence. And now, because you have it, the storm can come, because now it will not knock you over. Now you can stand in the wind and not be uprooted. Now you can hear their words and evaluate them instead of drowning in them. That is why it is happening now. The 15th of August, 2026, is not a random date. It is the date your inner architecture was finally strong enough to hold what is being placed in your hands, and I need to speak to something else now. Something tender, something I can feel underneath your hope, underneath your anticipation, underneath the excitement that is starting to bloom in your chest like the first green shoot after a long frost. I need to speak to your exhaustion. Because you are tired, Pisces. You are so deeply, fundamentally, bone level tired. Tired of being the one who feels everything at full volume while the world tells you to calm down. Tired of being the one who loves hardest, who forgives first, who holds the emotional weather of every relationship you have ever been. Inches tired of being intuitive in a world that rewards numbness. Tired of crying in bathrooms, in cars, in the shower where the water hides the sound. Tired of being told you are too sensitive when sensitivity is the very gift that lets you love as deeply as you do. And tired, so tired, of hoping. Because hope, when it stretches too long, stops feeling like light and starts feeling like a wound that will not close. I see you. I need you to hear that. Across the screen, across the algorithm, across whatever spiritual thread pulled you to this exact video at this exact hour, I see you. I see the nights you spent composing messages you never sent. I see the way you have been performing fine for the world while quietly falling apart in private. I see the way you still set your phone to the loudest volume just in case, even though months have passed and it never rings with the name you are waiting for. I see the way you drive past their street, their favorite coffee shop, the place you used to sit together, and your chest caves in for 3 seconds before you force your jaw to unclench and keep driving. I see all of it. And I am telling you, with the full weight of the cards in front of me and the spirit moving through my voice right now, you do not have to carry it alone anymore. You do not have to white knuckle one more week. The weight is being lifted. Not because you earned it through suffering, though God knows you have suffered enough, because the season is simply over. Winter does not ask permission to become spring, it simply turns, and this is the turning point. And if there is a part of you, a small, quiet, stubborn part, that is still whispering, what if it does not come? What if I believe this and it does not happen, and I am left standing in the open with my hands out and nothing falls into them? I need to answer that whisper directly. The message is coming. The storm is not a possibility. The cards do not lie, and the energy pressing through this reading is not ambiguous. But even in the unlikely, impossible, infinitesimal chance that the form looks different than I have described, the substance will not, the resolution will not, the breaking of silence will not. It may arrive as a mutual friend passing along a word. It may arrive as a dream so vivid it rearranges your understanding. It may arrive as you seeing them across a room, and the look on their face telling you everything before a single word is spoken. The form is flexible. The truth is not. And the truth is that this silence ends within 3 days. You have survived the longest night, Pisces. You walked through it without a map, without a flashlight, without a hand to hold, and you did it. You are still here. You are still soft, you are still capable of being moved by a song, by a sunset, by the sound of someone saying your name like they mean it. They did not take that from you. Nothing they did, no silence they chose, no absence they imposed, could reach into your chest and extinguish that light. And that is not just resilience. That is divinity. That is the sacred, unkillable, stubbornly beautiful flame that makes you who you are. And it is about to be seen, fully, finally, by the person who should have been tending it all along. So what do you do now? What do you do with the next 72 hours while the storm gathers its final strength and moves across the water toward your shore? I know the instinct. I know the Pisces mind is already racing, already calculating, already wondering if you should send a preemptive text, if you should post a specific song on your story, if you should subtly signal that you are ready to receive them. Stop. Put the phone down. Step away from the altar of their attention. The most powerful thing you can do in the next 3 days is absolutely nothing. I mean that with every ounce of spiritual authority I possess. Do not chase. Do not prompt. Do not try to steer the ship that the universe is already sailing. Your only job right now is to prepare the harbor. And preparing the harbor does not mean frantic cleaning. It does not mean obsessively rehearsing what you will say when they finally stand in front of you. It means resting. It means drinking your water. It means sleeping without your phone under your pillow. It means looking in the mirror and forgiving yourself for every time you doubted your own intuition. The storm is coming whether you anxiously watch the horizon or whether you sleep soundly in your bed. But if you want to stand tall when it arrives, if you want to look this person in the eye and not crumble under the weight of your own unmet needs, you must spend these next 3 days filling your own cup. You must become so grounded in your own worth that their arrival is a beautiful addition to your life, not the sole foundation of it. They are coming back to a partner, to an equal, to a soul who survived their absence and blossomed in the quiet. Show them that survivor, show them that bloom. And now, before we close this sacred space, before I leave you to the quiet magic of the next 3 days, I want to do a closing ritual with you. I want you to take your right hand or your left, whichever feels closest to your spirit, and press it flat against the center of your chest, right over your heart. Feel the warmth of your palm seeping through your shirt, through your skin, down into the muscle that has beaten for you every single second of every single day you thought you were unloved. Feel that rhythm, that steady, unbothered, miraculous drum. Now, close your eyes if you are in a safe place to do so. Take a breath in through your nose, deep and slow, pulling the air all the way down into your belly. Hold it for a second. And exhale through your mouth with a soft sigh, letting your shoulders drop away from your ears. As your hand rests on your heart, I want you to repeat this affirmation silently in your mind. Say it with me. I am ready to receive without fear. I release the need to control the timing. I trust the storm to wash away what no longer serves me, and I trust the calm that follows. I am safe. I am seen. I am deeply, profoundly loved. Let those words sink into the tissue of your heart. Let them rewrite the nervous system responses that have kept you in fight or flight for so long. You are safe now, Pisces. The waiting is over. The reckoning is here. And the love that is coming toward you is real. If this message found you at the exact right moment, if your spirit is vibrating with the truth of what I have just spoken, I need you to seal this energy right now. Go down to the comments and type one single word to claim this reading. Type the word receive, just RECEIVE. Let that be your digital signature on this contract with the universe. Let it be the final nail in the coffin of your doubt. And if you know someone who needs to hear this, share this video with them. Because the algorithm brought you here for a reason, and your sharing might be the divine intervention they have been praying for. Subscribe to Trusted Tarot, keep your notifications on, and I will see you on the other side of the storm. Until then, breathe deep, stand tall, and let it rain.